Hello everyone and welcome. We have 5 more Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 theories. Age of Calamity and time travel. One theory that is a bit more divisive, as some fans would love for Age of Calamity to be canon, while others who may have also enjoyed the game hope it remains its own thing. With that said, in Age of Calamity, the younger generation mentions helping and fighting alongside Link from the future, which means they come from a timeline where the events of Breath of the Wild does happen, not the future timeline they currently are in, as the events from this timeline essentially create a split. So will we have a moment in the sequel where we have a quest to help them travel back in time? Will we have a mention of what if we stopped Calamity Ganon 100 years ago and were able to save the champions, ending all of this destruction before it even began? Could the end of Breath of the Wild 2 allude to it? Or will it not even be mentioned? It is up to the sequel to finally confirm whether or not it is canon, and many theorize that we will be getting a hint of some sort, which may reference Age of Calamity. Link's big reset. Breath of the Wild had one of, if not the most powerful version of Link, with full hearts, champions abilities, the Sheikah Slate, all of our weapons or items and gear. How will Breath of the Wild 2 power down Link so that he starts off normally, just as every Zelda game does, and most importantly, have it make sense and fit with the actual story? Not just well, it's a new game, so we're starting back with no extra hearts. The easiest way we have thought of is when we see this malice grabbing onto Link's arm, it sort of curses him and brings him back down to the normal 3 hearts. And also ends up possibly being the reason we see him wearing this bracelet, or armlet. An example being the Calamity cursing him, and then the other spirit hand stopping or pausing the curse from causing even more damage, while also allowing him to have new abilities. Maybe he'll be able to tap into both the malice which infected him, as well as this new spirit hand, which we do see him with new abilities such as time reversal and warping through objects. What happens to Zelda? This is one I have been saying for a while. Why would Nintendo have the entire first game be about saving Princess Zelda, then immediately beginning the very next game with you losing her and having to save her yet again? Nintendo has also talked about how much they hate spoilers and for surprises to be ruined. So it is very unlikely Nintendo would show such a huge twist like this in the first or second trailer. No, this is just to throw us off and keep us speculating. Aonuma and others have also spoken in several Breath of the Wild interviews about how they had concepts and ideas for Zelda to be playable, even having an entire section as far back as Skyward Sword where she was meant to be playable, and we would experience the game from her point of view. I think that is an idea they are bringing back for the sequel here, as we've already seen most concepts that went unused in Breath of the Wild are coming back, which Nintendo themselves have mentioned. I think that is the idea they are bringing back for the sequel here. She won't need saved in the traditional sense, and will likely be able to save herself if she isn't literally immediately saved. As we see the spirit hand grabbing Link and Link grabbing Zelda's, they both also have several abilities that would allow them to save themselves in this exact situation. We just have too much evidence with in-game details and real-world details, such as the interviews, which suggest this is just a red herring.
Fans were shocked to see Ganondorf reappearing at the end of the first Breath of the Wild sequel trailer. Breaking free from a seal placed upon him, he has been given nicknames from Crispy Ganon to Dehydrated Ganon. Some have theorized ways we will be seeing Ganondorf back to his full power, but after already fighting what feels like a dozen versions of Calamity Ganon across Breath of the Wild and Age of Clams, how can Nintendo change it up and make it a unique experience? Not just Ganondorf regaining his power to become Ganon again. The idea Jesse and I had was a rather simple one. The perfect example or comparison would be the movie The Mummy, where throughout the movie is a rather dehydrated mummy is on a quest to, let's say, consume or kill certain people, and each victim he changes back to his original powerful self. I think we will see Ganondorf on his own quest, similar to the Mummy or even a Thanos, to collect or complete certain things in order to regain his full power.
Restoring Hyrule. One of the big new gameplay mechanics 𝗷𝗛𝗆 and others said they were looking forward to was a dynamic overworld in Breath of the Wild, having the world itself evolve and change as you make your way through the game and completed certain quests helping certain characters. We only seen a tiny aspect of this mechanic actually implemented with Tarrey Town, but the way they spoke about it was as if it would be changing most of Hyrule, or at least a large part of it, not a tiny little section. This is one of the main interviews fans referenced with why they felt we would be able to actually rebuild Hyrule to make it look like the past 100 years ago as we progressed through the game. Obviously, that didn't happen, but thanks to past cutscenes and now Age of Clams, we know we have all of these models of Castle Town and other areas the way they would look if fixed. And we have a lot of fans hoping we won't simply be playing through the exact same overworld all over again. Yes, there will be underground sections and areas in the sky to explore, but it'll be a huge disappointment for Hyrule itself to basically remain the same. Fans hoping we won't be playing through the exact same Hyrule overworld all over again. So building it back up like Tarrey Town and restoring Hyrule to its former glory would be the best way to motivate this and allow both 𝗷𝗛𝗆 finally complete the concept he wanted to add years ago and make fans happy at the same time. I hope you're all having an amazing day, and thank you for watching. We have a few new Patreon supporters that I would like to give a thank you to. If you would like your own shout out, then head over to patreon.com/GameOverJesse, where you can receive a ton of different rewards while helping us out. Those of you who are just donating a single $1, that really does help more than you would think. Thank you Monica Spath, NORNARB, Shadow to Us, SOBERX, 𝗓𝗔𝗄𝗧, NATSU, Rusty Caulfield, Zoey M, Candy, David Guthman, Ashton Wren, BKRS7, Blargnar, Chad Costin, Gus Calvo, Henry, Jesse Birch, Jesse Wood, Jon Snow, Larulian Sheep, Lovable Christie, Mr. Monocled Metroid, Super NX64, and ZAIN.